I know you've gotten questions in your MCAT practice materials asking for absolute configuration. R's configuration might be easy for you, but you're probably watching this video because you might still be getting these wrong. Because having to configure chiral carbons while staring at complex molecules on a computer screen is flustering. And yeah, these are too easy to miss. So I'm going to show you a trick for absolute configuration to not make mistakes or get turned around, as well as how to use scratch paper to configure in less time than you would spend trying to configure by just looking at a computer screen. I'll also hit some tricks for finding chiral carbons and commonly mistaken prioritizing rules. But for a more comprehensive look at the tricks for RS configuration, I put two links in the description below to videos that show more about how to quickly, easily, and accurately find chiral carbons and configure their stereochemistry in complex molecules. But you don't necessarily have to watch those videos before this one. Let's jump into the tricks for absolute configuration and how to use scratch paper without spending extra time. MCAT questions asking for absolute configuration, which are just asking for RS configuration of chiral carbons, tend to use crazy complex molecules like this one. Sometimes you have to find the chiral carbons, which can be easy knowing that double or triple bonded carbons are never chiral, and carbons with two same substituents are never chiral. Again, tricks that I show in the video links in the description. Let's focus only on the chiral carbon and get the scratch paper out. Start by writing the chiral carbon, then draw only the alpha atoms, meaning only atoms directly bonded to the chiral carbon, not entire functional groups or rings. Since all the alpha atoms are carbon, meaning the same so cannot be prioritized, next draw all the beta atoms, meaning keep moving along to all the second atoms from the chiral carbon and only draw those, not entire functional groups or rings. Once again, they're all carbon atoms, but this time one of them is a double bonded carbon, which takes priority over single bonded carbons, so prioritize this as 1. Now only focus on the two bottom carbons. Since they're the same, draw the gamma atoms, meaning keep moving along to all the third atoms from the chiral carbon and only draw those. But here's where it might be a little confusing. The bottom carbon is only triple bonded to nitrogen, no other atoms, but the top carbon is bonded to two gamma atoms, a double bonded oxygen and a single bonded oxygen. Simply use the more priority one, which is the double bonded oxygen, to compare to the nitrogen on the other carbon. Between oxygen and nitrogen, the atom with the higher atomic mass or number, either works, takes priority, which is the oxygen, making it priority 2 and the nitrogen priority 3. And remember, there is a fourth bond on the chiral carbon, but if it's not shown, it's just a hydrogen, which will always be the last priority. But you don't need this to determine rotation around the chiral carbon. Rotation from highest to lowest priority, from 1 to 2 to 3, is counterclockwise, and if there's no wedges or dashes, configuration is what it is. Counterclockwise rotation means as configuration. Done. And what you see on the scratch paper is all you have to draw to make sure to easily, correctly configure the chiral carbon. And it will definitely take less time than when staring at the molecule on a computer screen, especially without me talking you through it. And the trick to always get RS configuration correct is to always compare one atom at a time, meaning compare only alpha atoms to each other and prioritize, then only beta atoms to each other and prioritize, and so on, and go as far as you have to find differences to prioritize. Let's look at another example, but this time an actual MCAT question. Here's the scratch paper, and I'll start with carbon 1. Start by writing the chiral carbon, then draw only the alpha atoms. Whenever there's a dash, there's a wedge, but if it's not shown, know that it's just a hydrogen, which is always the lowest priority, and you'd only have to rank the top 3 priorities. Then prioritize these alpha atoms by atomic mass or number, and believe it or not, that's all we have to do for this chiral carbon, because the alpha atoms are all different. However, since the lowest priority is wedged, but must be dashed for proper absolute configuration, you can determine rotation as the molecule is, but flip the answer. Another trick that I show in the video links in the description. This narrows it down to A or B. The carboxylic acid is commonly mistaken for highest priority because of IUPAC naming rules. But prioritizing for isomerism is different in that it's determined by atomic mass or number of directly bonded atoms, not functional groups as a whole. So the trick to not make these mistakes is to prioritize one atom at a time. Alpha atoms to other alpha atoms, beta to beta, gamma to gamma, and so on. Again, I show this more comprehensively in the video links in the description. Now let's configure carbon 2. Again, start by writing the chiral carbon, then only the alpha atoms. Nitrogen has a greater atomic mass than the carbons, so it immediately takes priority 1. Since the carbons are the same, draw the beta atoms. The sulfur atom takes priority over the double bonded carbon because sulfur has a greater atomic mass than carbon, making it second priority, and the alkene third priority. And again, if there's only 3 visible bonds, then the fourth bond is just a hydrogen, the last priority, which isn't needed for determining rotation. And if there's no wedges or dashes on the chiral carbon, do configuration as is, and that's the answer, making B the correct answer. Once again, minimal drawing on scratch paper and a foolproof way of always getting absolute configuration correct. We've gotten a lot of comments asking for more tricks and practice problems for chirality. Well, we have both. There's a link in the description for a quick chirality workbook to practice all aspects of chirality on tricky and complex molecules, plus some MCAT practice questions with detailed explanations. Check it out. Simple as that.